Good morning, warriors, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Worship Warrior podcast. Today, we continue off the momentum of last episode to talk about something we all face at some point of our lives, whether it's at work, home, your school, that barbecue place that only you know about. You know what I'm talking about, Jimmy. And yes, even in college, we're talking about peer pressure. I'm Michael Zapata. This is Anna Laura with You Don't Suck, College Does, episode 5. Oh, let's get right into it. Snap diddle. What's up, Fiddle?
Hey, Fiddle Diddle.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, dude.
I haven't seen you in a while.
I know it's been a minute.
It has.
It's been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot's happened. You know what happened?
Why don't you go ahead and tell me what
Share
happened?
with the class?
Yeah.
I'd love to. So, ladies and gentlemen, a little update. Today marks day 1 completed of Michael's first adventure into counseling.
Whoa!
Never thought I would do it. It's amazing so far. It's a weird experience.
Yeah, talk about it.
Yeah, that's basically all you do is talk about it. And I'm counseling at this school for reasons. In case you're wondering why, nothing crazy. It's just standard counseling, just because I've never done it. And I'd like to, I didn't really want to, but you kind of encouraged me to.
I never forced you to.
Forcibly encouraged me
I
to.
did not do that.
to start doing that, so I'm doing it. And you know what? It's definitely going to be an experience. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to learn from it. But yeah, it's weird. You just talk to this person, and you know what they do? They just say, yeah.
Yeah, they listen.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I managed to talk for 45 minutes. Can you believe it?
I'm surprised you didn't talk more.
I low-key wanted to. You know, she just kind of...
You're probably holding back a little
stopped
nervous.
me, dude. It was really like... Oh, yeah, dude, I was so nervous. Like, literally, I was, like, cold. And it's Texas. It's not cold right now. I was shivering.
Yeah.
That's how
you got the nervous shivers.
That's what I do when I get really nervous. But that's basically what I'm doing. If any of y'all have been in counseling, let us know about it. Email us at theworshipwarrior99@gmail.com email. Just thought I'd get that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what's going on with you?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
No.
No?
Oh.
Are you gonna get a call?
Sorry, my sister.
How's your family?
Good. They started keto.
Oh.
Well, they've been doing keto.
What's that like?
My little sister, she's 11.
11 years old doing keto diets. Start them young, man.
Yeah. Wait, I think she might be 12.
You don't know. You don't know your sister's name.
We'd have to cut this out. Okay, whatever. You know what happened today?
What?
Bianca, he forgot how old you were.
Girl, she does not watch this.
He forgot how old. Okay, well, Michael's parents tell Bianca Michael forgot how old she was.
Bruh, like literally, it gets to the point where you just kind of blur it
That's
together.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got me. I was bluffing. I don't know my sister's age either. I think it's 18. I'm like 90% sure. 18. 90% sure. But yeah, that's good to hear that they're doing keto is definitely a weird diet.
It is.
I don't know. If you do it, good for you. I could never do a diet. Mm-hmm. I've tried before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
That was definitely an attempt.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
For a second?
Talk about whatever you want.
Michael, I'm gonna say.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna say why we needed to start the diet.
Okay, go for it.
Michael one day, just when we were about to film.
Yeah, actually.
Had he was so sick. He was like laying on the couch, just like, I'm dying. And I was like, oh my God. And I called his mom and we took him to the hospital and everything. And it turns out Michael over here has a thyroid issue, right? And so the doctors are like, you should eat better.
That's not what he said.
No, but it helps his thyroid
Y'all
issue.
look that part up.
It helps his thyroid issue.
He told me I'd probably be fine.
It helps his thyroid issue, but
Yeah.
he refuses. Like, he didn't even last one day.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Not one day.
I definitely went one meal pretty good. I ate like carrots or something. But like, dude, you don't understand. And like, yeah, ironically, a little behind the scenes action. That was the day we were gonna start filming. We were gonna bulk film these because
Yeah.
we're both in college and crazy life.
Yeah.
And I just saw my freaking thyroid decided to quit working on me. And I don't know how it works. Basically, it was freaking out, and so we couldn't bulk film because I got sick and got sent to the hospital. So we're doing them now
Yeah.
in real time,
In real time.
which has been fun. But
yeah, which I guess adds more to the podcast.
definitely, because we can definitely respond in real time as well to y'all,
Yeah, that's true.
which is great. But yeah, that's an issue, I guess. I'm trying to eat better. Not really. I will. One day I'm going to start eating better.
Yeah, we had Freebirds tonight.
Yeah, it was a treat. It was great. That's why I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
I'm in a great mood. I was like, let's film, dude. Like, God, I feel so good. Like, I just feel so good, after a good, like, hearty dinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just great. Just great. But yeah, so I guess let's get into the topic today.
Let's get into it.
So, peer pressure. Man, shut up.
Sorry.
I was going to ignore that. But you're like,
I'm waiting
did
for
you
you
notice
to
me?
laugh.
No, dude. So, peer pressure. Let's talk about it. Because last week, we're going to remind me what we talked about last week. I think it was,
Wow, you forgot?
dude, things happen in between these Wednesdays. I don't remember. What was it? Do you remember?
Yes.
What was it?
We talked about...
This is bad.
We talked about, letting loose in college.
Yeah, that's what it was. Letting loose in college. So we kind of talked about the choice of letting loose in college. Is it good for you? Is it bad for you? Are you a Christian if you do it? A lot of questions, some answers. Like, it's definitely possible to live a Christian life in college, but it definitely is really, really, really difficult. Next part of that would be what happens when you kind of feel a social pressure when it comes to doing things that you normally wouldn't do. Like, and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
For a fact, like, it's different when it's your choice. We're not talking about that this week. That was last week. This is, you wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for this certain situation or this certain person.
Yeah.
And this is for people who don't want to do that. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we're talking about today. We've been there. You have experience with it. I do too. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody has had this experience, and I don't believe it stops ever. But there are ways to help, and that's what we're gonna talk about. So, do you have anything to say about that before we what does it look like to you in your life? Any experiences?
Yeah. Peer pressure sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Elaborate.
I am so bad with peer pressure.
Yeah.
You know this.
I do, but they don't. So like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
You mean in like?
I'm so easily perceptible to peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so easily will I say yes to things
Mm-hmm.
with the slightest amount of pressure,
Right.
which isn't good,
Uh-huh.
and definitely has like put me in bad situations,
Mm-hmm.
especially in college.
Yeah.
You get peer pressure to do a lot of things.
Yeah. What are some of these things? You don't have to go too much in detail. Let's kind of just narrow down what we're talking about, though.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just a couple of them. You don't gotta go too much into detail.
Well, like going out.
Yeah.
You get peer pressure to going out.
Like when you didn't want to.
yeah, like
kinda
when you
thing?
don't want to. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Dude, I get that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I peer pressure you.
You do that one to
Yeah,
me.
I do.
Come
Not
on.
as much anymore.
That's true. Because I stood my ground, guys.
No, you didn't.
Whatever.
You did.
I did actually.
You did.
But
you peer pressure me too.
true. I'm not immune to it.
Mm-hmm.
We all do it. It's one of those topics that it's like I personally feel like we've all done it. We've all been the recipient of it. And it's one of those things that like you might not even realize you're doing it to someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You like really you might not even realize it. But it's important to understand that because you're making that person uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And sometimes they won't, most of the time, they won't even complain to you. I know I never would.
I know it does suck. It does suck though, cause
Yeah.
we got into an argument about it actually, not peer pressure, but because I was like, come on, like we should go out.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, oh yeah.
You know, and then I don't know, somewhere in between the conversation, I could clearly see that you got uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I doing? Like, he obviously doesn't want to. I felt so bad. I apologized.
That's okay.
And I still apologize now.
Like, you really don't have to,
because,
though.
oh my gosh, that's so mean of me.
It's okay, though. Like,
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure I've done it to you, too. Like, I mean, come on. You've watched, like, whole pay-per-views of wrestling with me.
That's
Are
not
you
peer
telling
pressure.
me you wanted me to do that? Like, you wanted to do that without me? Like, I'm pretty sure you didn't. I'm pretty sure you would have never watched, what did we watch? WrestleMania 23.
I like Stone Cold now.
Yeah.
I like Psycho Sid.
It's really interesting.
Oh, but my favorite is Goldust.
That's true. You do like a gold. You're a Gold Dust girl.
Yeah.
He's a definitely interesting character, to say the least.
Yeah.
He is a interesting guy. But yeah, that's not really what we're talking about, but I relate everything back to wrestling. But yeah, so that's kind of what it looks like for you. So like, it's kind of gotten you in situations you've regretted. Me too.
Yeah.
I would say like, I would say I'm better. I'm much better at saying no. But before I got to college, ironically, it was like more in high school where I was like more susceptible to doing things I didn't want to, and it really wasn't that much. Like I've usually been okay with saying no. I think there's just been a couple of cases here and there where I'm just like,
I guess
it's mainly just in a situation where I just don't want to be a drag, and so I just kind of go along and don't have a good time.
You don't want to be the party pooper.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, in some cases, like your cases and more cases, there's more severe, I said more a lot, there's severe consequences.
Yeah.
You know, I've been blessed. I haven't had any severe consequences, but that's what we want to talk about is like the severe consequences of like, there's a story. It's really interesting. And Samoa's like attacking my knee right now.
She's biting me too.
Wow. Double duty on both of us. She's attacking both of us.
She's really cranky today. I don't know why.
So, well, first off, let's start with the verse. So, can you look up 1 Corinthians 10:12 for me?
Yes.
And while you do that, I'm gonna give like this story. Essentially, I don't remember where I heard it from, but I know I've heard it. And maybe you have if you grew up with like a Christian household, but it's like there's a girl or a guy. I don't remember. Let's call it a girl for now. And essentially she's a Christian, lived right all her life, yada yada yada, and decides one day, you know what the heck? Her friends are like, you should come out with us. She's like, no. They're like, you should come out with us. Finally she does, and I don't know if I made this part up, but I swear this is a real story. But like she like this is actually something I was told, but it was like she went out, and then it was like a book. So I've read into her book, and she went out with these people and they partied, you know, she did some drugs or whatever. I don't remember what they said, alcohol or something like that. And then she got hit by a car or something like that.
What?
And then went to hell.
What?
And that
oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's a real thing,
and he
right?
went to hell.
Was it a guy? It might have been a guy. I don't remember.
And he went to hell.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
Yeah. But is that true?
That's a good question. What do you think?
I don't know.
Me neither.
You don't go to hell, right?
I don't know. I'd like to say no.
Like, what if you die in the middle of doing a sin?
I personally, the way I see it is God always looks at your heart. Plain and simple. We are at no place to judge. We have no idea we have idea what the requirements are. We have no idea what a person's heart is what I should say. So I don't know. I want to say yes. Like, I want to say you'll be okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like, I have no actual evidence to back that up.
That's so scary.
So I can't claim that, but I will say my opinion. That's how I've perceived it. It's an interesting topic. That's kind of, yeah. So like, it's like, you know, because it's like, what if you are peer pressured? You go out to this party. Let's say that actually does happen to you. Where do you go?
That's exactly what my mom used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's.
Here's the thing, though.
It's fun to talk about.
Peer pressure. Yeah, it is fun. Peer pressure is such a real thing in college.
Yeah.
With like, not even like come on, drink a little. It's like, come on, drink. Or like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
oh, there she goes.
There's
Samoa. You can't be up
She's
here.
in a bitey mood, huh? You're scared to pick her up.
A little bit.
I think she just wants attention.
Oh my gosh, she's on camera. Hello.
This is Samoa.
Yeah, we introduced her last week. You can't be, girl.
She'll get off. She'll get off.
Anyway, let's just ignore her. She'll go away. That's my camera. She's gonna fuck over
She's
the camera.
that
tells ready to load, dude. It's ready to lock and load. She got bored.
Yeah.
Good thing she has a short. No, she's getting curious.
She's not gonna.
Oh my god.
Oh, she has her eye on it. I got it.
Come here. Anyway, what we're talking about is peer pressure. And Anna's right. It's like an exclamation point. And it's not just about drinking. If you want to get real,
drugs.
Oh, even realer than that.
Sex.
Yeah, like for real.
I knew exactly what you were gonna say.
That's a huge thing in college.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories, which is why I know it's peer pressure and stuff like that. That's like life changing that you don't actually want to maybe not do at the time. You know what I mean?
But everyone around you is doing it.
Yeah. And
if not, like, you're like the loser.
Exactly. Or, you're like, I don't know, weird or whatever. And it's...
That's so true. I will say I've definitely been the pressurer.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. In what way?
Most of the time, people who are peer pressuring you are people who feel bad for what they're doing and want other people to do it with them. Wow.
Good insight.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they want the validation that, okay, what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing and I know it's bad, but someone else is going to do it with me. Yeah. That, or they want you to come down with you. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of jealous that you have the sense to say no to something that they say yes to, and they feel bad about themselves. So they are going to try to make you to say yes to. Yes. I agree. Like, that's a really good point, actually. And I definitely can say I'm guilty of that too, of wanting to drag people with me. I'm doing something. And and I'll say, let's see. Again, I've never been into what do you call it? Drugs? Drinking? I literally just spaced. Sorry. I will say that there's I think there has been I remember specifically, I thought I was trying to be cool a couple of times, you know what I mean? Yeah. It'd be in high school and I would kind of brag and I'd be like, come on. A lot of it was I was trying to get, this is going to sound really weird, but I was trying to get good kids to watch porn, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Because I was the good kid that did it, so I was trying to be the, like you said, I was trying to validate myself. Yeah. That's all they're trying to do. And it's a really weird thing to admit because it's a really weird thing to do. I don't think it's not a weird, but it's it's just strange to say out loud. But that's definitely a reality. I definitely did that in high school, and I hope she's okay after that. But that's definitely something that I've kind of been a pressurer to, and it's usually been to validate myself and kind of to soothe your guilt. Yeah, soothe my guilt, and also just kind of, it's kind of like a bragging right thing, to kind of. Oh yeah, look what I do. Yeah, and it's not right, but that definitely is a reality. Did you get 1 Corinthians? Yeah, I've been having 1 Corinthians. You've been waiting on me. Yeah, no, we kind of went on a tangent, but I think it was a good tangent. Definitely, I think we really need to talk about that. What does that say? This is 1 Corinthians 10:12, sorry. 10:12? Yeah. Therefore, let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. No temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will also make the way of escape, that you may be able to bear it. Great. So that goes along with temptation, which is kind of what we're talking about as far as peer pressure. Kind of. It kind of messes. No, it does very well. I was just kidding.
No, like I get it though, because it's like the distinction could be almost like, excuse me, that free bird is coming up.
I think peer pressure is temptation.
You think so? Yeah.
Sure, you're tempted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, you have a choice to say yes or no.
Right.
Just like you do your temptations.
God, that's so true. Wow.
It's like, but temptation is like when you peer pressure yourself.
That's true, actually. Except, is it so? Interestingly enough, with temptations, and that's what it's talking about, is there's a couple things in the Bible, like, there are a lot of. You're right. You're tempting yourself because it has to do with your mind. Like your thoughts, kind of like the breeding ground for sin.
Temptation.
It's anything like sin and like temptation. You know what I mean? Like it starts there. So that's why this verse talks about. There's always a way out. It's like God, and that also talks about testing, which is another thing. Like sometimes God will test you,
but not more than you are.
But not more than you can handle. There's always a way out, and in the sense of peer pressure, these situations, there's always a way out if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
Is the way we can tie it back to this. I just realized this is called Temptations. Anyway, so that's kind of what I got from that verse.
I love the part where he said, just like you said, tempted beyond what you are able.
Yeah, so you will be able to handle it.
Because you can say no.
Right. We all have the ability to.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
But like, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's difficult though, you know. And in that moment, it really is like.
It is so hard.
But God really doesn't give you more than you can handle. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
But it's about and this goes for like if you are being peer pressure or if you are the peer pressurer. Can't get my thingies right. Mm-hmm. But it's like, so if we're talking like how we were, like, you know, how like I admitted to, you know, I've done it before. Oh, this cat, dude.
Samoa.
Like, so
what have I tempted people with?
Yeah. No. So like if we're talking about temptation and like you're doing it to someone, you're being like the peer pressurer. This also goes with like, you know, you have to kind of change your mindset as well. Yeah. You know, it goes both ways. And so how do you do that? So another verse we wanted to kind of bring up was Romans 12:2, and I have that one. I got you.
Thank you.
So this one says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." So essentially, this is how we're going to get into how do I do this? How do I kind of combat peer pressure?
Yeah.
It starts with your mind. It starts with transforming and getting yourself, you know, in her head just keeps popping up.
She's like a little
she's like the groundhog. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like a whack-a-mole. Imagine like a whack-a-mole with Samoa. Like just like a bunch of Samoas. Like, I couldn't hit them. I couldn't do it.
He loves her.
I do love her, actually. She's kind of getting on my nerves today. but I do love this cat a lot. Anyway, so it starts with transforming the mind. And that really goes with
just fucking out her head.
Do you want to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
It's all good,
dude. Transforming your mind.
Yeah. So we're
That's so true.
Yeah. So what does that look like? You have any takes on that before we kind of get more into that?
I will say you work a lot on that.
Who?
Specifically you.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You focus a lot on if you make a mistake, you go, okay, what did I do leading up to this?
Yes.
And then the first thing you do is look into the mindset you had before.
Yep. She's getting it.
God.
You are an interesting cat. So go ahead.
What you were doing before, and then you kind of take notice. You gotta take notice of the negative thoughts. Okay. Yeah. The negative thoughts you had, and you like. Usually, what you were missing is that you hadn't read scripture lately.
Yeah, I'm being honest with you. That's what I've usually found, and it's not. Yeah, I'm like, it still kind of blows my mind how that works, But truthfully, like, you're right. What I've messed up in our relationship or anywhere where I'm like, I just don't feel like myself. Or maybe I'm a little more irritable.
Yeah. We get into lots of fights. Whenever.
And, you know, to talk about peer pressure, you know, maybe I'm a little more, but that usually doesn't affect that too much because, I mean, COVID, I haven't go out with anybody anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of that and just any sin that kind of it starts with the mind. And that's what I've noticed is when I'm a little more irritable, you know, I'm not really myself. You kind of notice it. That's what I come to the conclusion of, is that I have not been keeping up with my reading.
Yeah. And like, you've even told me like to kind of keep check on you.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
to ask you, like, if I notice something's wrong, to ask you if you've done the reading today.
Yeah. You do okay at that. You forget sometimes.
Yeah.
But what do you think about you though? Like what kind of plays into your what do you do
transforming
transforming your mind? How does that look for you? And what stage are you in? And there's no judgment. Like whatever stage you're in is what stage you're in.
Oh yeah, I am in like I am bad at transforming my thoughts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How so?
I kind of let them run wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's less temptation for me.
Mm-hmm.
More like, no, you know what? Yeah, I guess it is temptation.
Mm-hmm.
But like in a different way that most of the time you think of temptation as like sexual or drinking or drugs and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's not really like that for me currently. Right now, for me, temptation is to allow myself to slip back into like being sad. Or like temptation for me is spending the whole day in bed. Like,
right.
That is temptation for me.
That's real for you because yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so a lot of the times what I do is just I keep telling myself, you're gonna be in bed in the end of the night and that's okay. And you just gotta you make these little mantras for yourself, like you just gotta get through today. And then you kind of what I like to do is I list all the things I'm grateful for. Yeah. Just because I do, if you haven't figured it out, suffer from depression. Yeah. So
Keisha, how would they figure that? They can sense it just from like watching you.
If I spent all day in bed,
yeah,
and my temptation is just crying.
Fair enough. And being sad, you're like, I have to stop myself from slipping into sadness.
Yeah.
Just getting lost in, you know, my own head
in
and thoughts.
My own temptations. Yeah. So I like to list what I'm grateful for whenever I feel like I'm having a bad day. So yeah, God, Michael, forgiveness, you know, all these things.
Made the list, boys.
Yeah. All these
great.
things.
Yeah.
So I think a big thing is just being self-aware of who you are. And and we've talked about this before. Sorry. We've talked about this before. But like kind of just looking into, okay, you can't ignore, like you can't push back your negative thoughts or like your negative feelings or your negative emotions.
Negative thoughts.
You can't push it back because you'll repress it. I think you have to bring it out to the light. Maybe write it down or just speak it out. And then just be like, okay, why am I thinking this? Right. What are the things that are making me think like this? Right. Is there anything I can do? And then go from there. But don't repress it. I don't think you should.
That's what we're talking about in counseling.
Yeah.
I have repressed thoughts. I'm trying to do that. But so if we're gonna tie this back in, that's actually step one. And I'm getting some of this advice from the footnotes in my Bible from Romans 12:2 and then 1 Corinthians as well. But transforming your mind, your thoughts is number one, like you said, because that's where it starts. So capturing that, and that's anything that you might be tempted with. This does tie in really well with peer pressure. Anything you might be tempted with, that's gonna make you more susceptible to that peer pressure. So capturing that thought and taming it before that even happens is the best thing you can do. So that's exactly what you were saying, you know. Take whatever you might be tempted with, write it down. Why? You know, you got to find out why. You got to dig into yourself, which is hard and sucks. Yeah. But you have to. Why do I feel like this? Why is this, you know, something I struggle with? And how can it be used against me in the future? And plan it and stop it. You know what I mean? Before it happens.
Take steps.
You know?
Kind of like when you want to like lose weight or even be healthier and you meal prep.
Right.
Kind of like meal prep for temptation.
Definitely.
Or peer pressure.
Yeah, you have to prep yourself for it. Because if you just wait for the moment, you're going to always fall to it.
Exactly. Like Anna, 8 months ago, if someone was like, come on, dummy, just take a drink.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Right.
But like now I've taken active steps to be like, and we've talked about it, like what happens if this happens when you're out with your friends or your family, like what are you going to do? You kind of have to meal prep.
Yeah.
For peer pressure, especially if you know you already struggle with it.
Especially, yeah, like with you, it's always been, if you don't mind me saying.
Go ahead.
Okay, like, you know, like for us, we've talked about it because we know, like you said last episode, you know, your dad gave you that advice about when you have a problem. That's why it's like we've talked about it so extensively.
Yeah.
It's because, you know, I care about you and, you know, I want you to care about yourself, and you do.
Yeah. For
the most part, I think you do. And we're working on that too. But that's why, you know, so we meal prep for that. And then with, I don't know, with me.
You.
It's like.
We meal prep for you too.
We do meal prep for me. We have to. So one thing I do fall more susceptible to, and that's like, and I'll be open with it. So we've talked about it. If you haven't guessed it, is like, you know, porn and stuff is definitely something that, and we're in a relationship.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. And so we have to meal prep for that. You know, what's going to happen if I'm going to be alone and for this certain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we do that. And it helps.
Yeah. You have to have an open conversation with people, but most importantly, yourself. Yep. You know the problems you have, you know, the temptations you're faced with, and you have to admit that I have to admit that I struggle with that. Yeah, that I do struggle with that, you know. And it'd be great to have like an accountability partner. Oh, it's necessary, I believe. Yeah, it's absolutely necessary to find someone you trust. Maybe that's God. Maybe it is God. And even more than that, I feel like it has to be someone rooted in God. Yeah, that's the best person to help you be accountable, because it is always good to have that face to face, you know. Yeah, it is. Trust in God always, but it really does help, especially when you're new at being a Christian, or just, you know, you're new at this task, to have that person who can talk to you and like physically call your phone and be like, hey, what are you doing right now, you know. Yeah, that really goes a long way. This is a good stopping point for one of my favorite segments. I don't know if you're ready. But it definitely is time for Anna's fun fact of the day. Oh, you changed it from the oh yeah. That happened once. I miss it though. I love it. Are you ready? I have a bunch. You got a lot, huh? You stockpiled on them. So just give us your best one. Let's do this. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna let you pick. No, you. Do you want an animal one? Oh, okay. Or a space one? Oh, space. I love space. Oh, but it's not like a cool space one. Like, it's not about space. What? Okay. Go ahead. I don't know what it could be about. Okay. It would only take 1 hour to drive to space. What? Like, if you got in your car right now and somehow could drive it up, it would take you. Like going what speed? 60 miles an hour. Huh. It would take you an hour to reach outer space. I feel dumb, but I don't know is that how far space is? Really? Yeah. An hour going 60 miles an hour. 60 miles. So it's 60 miles above us? Was I supposed to know that? Did you know that? The car thing? Yeah. No. Wow. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. That'd be really weird, though. That's why they don't want us to have flying cars. That's why. Because they know everybody would just shoot straight up. We'd all be in space. They're like, I wonder what would happen. And then you see like a million cars just, and then that's the end of humanity. That's so true. Because we all try to do that. It sounds like us, especially the South. Why you gotta go out the South like that? You're from the South. That's why I can call it out. Born and raised Houstonian. You see a bunch of like minivans just go straight up there. God, there he goes. What a man. It's so true. They have the come and take it sticker. We're Southern. Yeah, we are. You're Houston. You're Houstonian. That's Houstonian. It's worse, man. You're Rockdalian.
Yeah, they nobody know what that is, dude. Don't even bother.
Rockdale is this awesome city.
Yeah. You know what people say when I tell them I'm from Rockdale? I'd be
What
like, you
is
ever heard of it?
that?
They know, even worse. They say, oh, I think I've driven past it. Yeah, you probably have. They're like, yeah, you know, sometimes I go to College Station, so I get through Rockdale. Yeah, don't stop. I don't blame you for not stopping.
You don't even have like a
Anything.
a good gas station to stop at.
We have gills.
But like on the way to where I go.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean, like for your place?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, Houston's such a boring drive.
Yeah,
I had to
it
do
is.
that once. It was so boring.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
So sorry.
how did we get on this? We were talking about a fun fact, and I got very distracted.
Oh yeah, space. We were talking about space. We're still on the fun fact.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about space and the come and get take it stickers on the minivans in
Yep.
space.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's. Thank you for that fun fact.
Mhm.
It was kind of spacey. I'll give you that. It was pretty spacey. So let's get back.
Say that because of space.
Yeah. So let's get back to the topic. So we're gonna transition to. You have a story, don't you?
Oh yes, I do.
We have a Bible story.
Yep. Michael kind of knows it better than I do actually, because he knows how to say the names.
You want to try to say the names?
I know Nebuchadnezzar.
I think it's Nebuchadnezzar, but I think
Nebuchadnezzar.
it also could be
Nebuchadnezzar.
I don't think it's Knizer.
And
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Little never.
Nebuchadnezzar the king. What?
Okay, sorry.
What?
Static. I think you messed with the cord. You're good. Go ahead. You're good.
Anyway, Nebuchadnezzar the king made a statue of gold,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like,
Oh, where's this found then, by the way? So they can.
Oh yeah, Daniel 3.
Daniel 3. So if you want to look this up on your own
Starts in Daniel
or follow with us, pause it real quick. Look up Daniel 3.
Oh, it is Daniel 3.
Daniel 3. Here we go.
So he makes a golden statue, and he says, when the bells rings and the symphony plays, everyone has to bow down and worship this golden statue.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so these three guys, Daniel's friends.
Oh, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
How do you know that?
There were songs about them.
Really?
Poems.
Really?
Dude, this is like, those are the three names you just know. Like,
Really?
you're taught. They're weird names, but you just, like, you hear them over and over. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And you watch the VeggieTales. Dude.
Oh, yeah,
come
it's
on,
okay.
dude.
It's
Come on.
VeggieTales. Okay. And so they don't do it. And so the king says, if you don't do it, we're going to throw you in the fire. And they still don't do it. I'm giving you the cool short version of it.
Yeah.
And they still don't
The
do
fire
it.
version.
Yeah, the fire version. And he says, and they say, no. Let me see if I can find the. Oh, okay. Our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. Deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us from your hand, O king. But if not, let it be known to you, O king, that we do not serve your gods, nor will we worship the gold image which you have set up.
That's bold. Imagine
That
if they
is
said it like
bold.
that.
They said, we're going to be saved, but even if we don't, we still don't care. Like,
Yeah, that's like super, that's a Christian.
yeah.
That's
Even
like-
if I die, I will not worship
If
your
I
God.
die, I die.
Remember me
Because-
like John Lennon.
What?
If I die today.
Oh, I don't know John Lennon at all. But, yeah. So basically, John Lennon ripped off Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically what we got from
Actually, it's not John Lennon. I just didn't want to tell you that it's a rapper. If I die today, remember me like John Lennon.
that. Oh,
he's
who's
rapping.
he's rapping about John
Yeah,
Lennon.
he's
Oh,
rapping.
I don't
Anyway.
know. Wait, who's the rapper?
Anyway. If you know it, comment.
Yeah, please. I don't know that song at all.
Okay.
Anyway,
And so Nebuchadnezzar throws them into the fire, and he's like, whoa, wasn't there 3 people in there? And then the guy he's asking it to is like, yeah, dude. And he's like, well, then why is there 4? And why does one of them have the form like the Son of God? So he says, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. Whoa. And so then he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then the people come out, and they're not they don't even smell like fire, not ash anywhere near their body. Their clothes are perfect.
That's such an
not
insane
a cinched
story.
hair.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, snap. Can you say their names again?
Oh, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Your God is the one true God.
Yeah.
And whoever doesn't worship this God sucks.
That's not what he said, huh?
Well, the king basically said that. He said, therefore, I make a decree that any people, nation, or language which speaks anything amiss against the God of
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego
shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made an ash heap, because there is no other God who can deliver like this.
Wow. That's insane. And you talked about this before. But man, this dude, Nebuchadnezzar,
he goes too hard.
He goes extreme. He is an extremist. No matter what position he's holding, he's going the far left, far right.
Yeah.
He's inventing what it means to be far left / right. You know what I mean? Like he's going all the way.
Yeah.
He's saying, at first he was like, if you don't bow down, I'm going to burn you.
Yeah.
Then he was proven wrong. He said, you know what? Your God's correct. I'm going to burn everybody else now.
Yeah, I know. Cut into pieces.
Cut into
he said,
pieces.
obviously the burning is not working.
He just changed his tactic.
We interrupt this message to bring you another message.
Thank you so much for checking out the Worship Warrior podcast, You Don't Suck College Does. If you're finding this episode useful in any way, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, Zap Music, to check out this and much more that me and Anna do that are not podcast related.
If you want to stay even more connected with us, you can follow us both on Instagram, @Anatastic and @Zap_Music1.
Or, if you want to keep up with just the podcast, you can listen to it on YouTube @Zap Music, or listen to it on Apple Play and Spotify.
Now back to the original message.
But that's crazy.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think that's what God wanted.
No.
Was for people to be cut up in little pieces. But this guy goes hard.
Yeah.
For what he believes. It's crazy though. Just like the main reason for the story is those guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Shema. They are just like fearless, dude.
Yeah.
We talk about like peer pressure, and this is kind of like biblical peer pressure of like, hey, you need to, and this is like an actual call to Christian. Like we're supposed to believe in God, and we're not supposed to just believe in him, but actively serve openly about him. And so this like they were questioned and their faith was questioned, and they said, we're not going to have it. You know?
Like it would be so easy for them to just bow down. Like it would be so easy for you to just say yes.
Exactly. But that's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
If you're a Christian, that's you're not here to take the easy route, huh? We're not here for the easy.
Yeah. Our risk is just like a little
compared
humiliation.
Compared to that.
Yeah. A little social, like, lower ranking.
Like a thumbs down?
Yeah.
That's what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. But to them, it's like their life.
They were going to get burned. Which is insane to think about. But it's truly inspirational when you think about that. Inspired, like it just like thinking, I don't know, I haven't thought about that story in a long time, so hearing it again, even though you like even just the Anna's short paraphrase version, the cool version, the fire version, it's like it's inspirational. Like it reminds me of like, this is like that happened. Like that's crazy. It blows my mind. Anyway,
it has parallels to real life.
Even today you can. Luckily, we're not getting thrown in furnaces, but like, some people are still getting persecuted for being Christians and for believing in whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's sad, but it's still reality. And thank God it's not, in America, we're okay with.
Yeah. Like the least we can do is hold God up in the little things in our daily lives. Definitely.
That's good. Hold God up, that really is the least we can do, and it's great. And so to kind of wrap things up, because we've covered a lot, it's getting close to time. Let's see, I have 2 more verses I just wanted to share. They're really short. So if you're following along, Psalm 56:11, "In God I trust and am not afraid. What can man do to me?" And I feel like that's the mentality that these 3 people had. It's a mentality that will really help you when it comes to like peer pressure and just in general facing anything that comes with like a possible negative reaction from a person. What can man do, if God is the one you ultimately trust and are serving? I have to remind myself this because I'm very bad with. I care about what people think.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard for me to put that aside sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that, but.
No, it is hard.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last one is Proverbs 1:10. We'll go King James Version. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Consent thou not. Meaning the last piece of advice we can give you is the best thing to do if you're in that situation and you know that the people you're surrounding yourself with are not good for you and they're hurting you, you have to get out of that situation. You can't consent to it. You have to get out and you have to save yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my last piece. I'm trying not to burp. Sorry. That's my last thing on it. Do you have anything else to add?
I'll say for the people who are who are doing the peer pressuring.
Yeah.
Really look into yourself. Like, why do you feel the need to bring someone else down with you in negative terms?
Yeah.
Just really look into yourself.
Just figure out why. I mean, it's not too late. And we've been there, both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just like always, we just want to remind you that you're not alone. Contact us, at Anatastic.
With 2 eyes.
With 2 eyes. At Zap_music1.
With no eyes.
No eyes. On Instagram. Worship Warrior. What is it? At worshipwarrior99 at gmail.com. Email us. Talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to somebody because you're not alone. It's okay. No matter what you've done, if you've been the pressurer, if you've given in, you're okay. There's always forgiveness. There is always hope. Mm-hmm. And that's what we want to leave you with, man. Anything else? Or is that about it?
That's about it.
That's about it, dude. Yeah, dude. So with that, Warriors.
Yeah, dude.
So with that, Warriors, we're going to go ahead and sign off this episode of the Worship Warrior Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you got something out of it. If you did get something out of it, please again contact us on Instagram or leave a comment down below. We want to hear your stories. Again, thank you for listening. Have a blessed and beautiful day. We'll see you next week, Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. on the next
Worship Warrior.
We'll leave it.